Deadpool has caused a huge mess in the multiverse, which is now collapsing and falling apart. To fix the damage and save his world from destruction, he needs Wolverine's help. Hey everyone, today we'll recap a 2024 action thriller story named Deadpool and Wolverine. Spoilers ahead, watch out and enjoy. Deadpool knows that Wolverine has an amazing healing power, so he hopes that maybe Wolverine is still alive somewhere. Deadpool goes to Wolverine's grave, believing he might find him there. When he digs up the grave, he finds only Wolverine's remains, just bones and a skeleton. Deadpool is devastated and furious. In his anger, he starts hitting Wolverine's bones with a shovel, cursing and shouting. He's upset because Wolverine was his last hope to fix everything, and now he feels like all is lost. Later, Deadpool calms down and starts talking to Wolverine's skeleton as if he's having a conversation with his old friend. Just then, TVA agents show up, ready to arrest him for messing with the timeline. To defend himself, Deadpool grabs Wolverine's bones and uses them to fend off the agents. He then ties Wolverine's adamantium claws to his wrists and fights off the remaining agents with them. In the middle of the chaos, Deadpool explains that there's a bigger story behind everything that's happening. He flashes back to the year 2018. In this flashback, Deadpool is seen having an interview with Happy Hogan. During the interview, Wade reflects on his surprising journey from being just a chauffeur to becoming the head of the Avengers, or something like that. Wade had always wanted to be part of the Avengers. Despite his time in X-Force and his experience working in teams, he admits that he wasn't really cut out for it. During his chat with Happy, Deadpool jokingly told him that he didn't quite fit in with the Avengers and needed to find his true calling. Fast forward 6 years, and Wade has changed a lot. He's grown out his hair and now works as a water salesman, leading what seems to be a normal life. He still lives with the elderly blind lady and has mutant friends who try to convince him that he's happy and stable. However, deep down, Deadpool is unhappy and feels trapped in a mundane existence. On her birthday, while they are celebrating, time agents suddenly burst in, grab Deadpool, and kidnap him. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself face to face with Paradox, a mysterious figure who talks to him about time and the complex concepts discussed in the Loki series. Paradox reveals that Deadpool is special and has the potential to be the hero he always wanted to be, an Avenger. The catch is that he needs to leave his current timeline and help them. Deadpool eagerly agrees and hurries off to the tailor's room to get a new, more heroic uniform. Before setting off on his mission, Wade requests Paradox to send him back home so he can share the exciting news with his friends. However, he is soon faced with a harsh reality. Paradox reveals that by making the deal with the TVA, Deadpool can never return home. His universe is set to reset in 72 hours, which means that everyone he loves will cease to exist. When Deadpool asks why this is happening, Paradox explains that a universe disintegrates when it loses its anchor. In Wade's universe, Wolverine was that anchor. Wolverine sacrificed himself to save a group of mutant children, including his daughter, Laura. Instead of letting the universe naturally end over thousands of years, Paradox decided to speed up the process by creating a machine to destroy it all at once. With this revelation, Paradox gives Wade two choices: join the sacred timeline and live out his dream of becoming an Avenger, or refuse and face the destruction of his universe and the loss of everyone he cares about. Deadpool decides to take a different approach. He attacks him and steals his temporal control device. Using it, Deadpool travels back to the beginning of the movie, determined to find Logan and uncover the truth. Without a clear plan, he improvises by challenging the TVA agents and using Wolverine's claws to fight them off. After dealing with the agents, Deadpool jumps to different worlds in search of the original Logan. Each world has a different version of Logan, varying in style and size, and he encounters trouble each time he arrives. He's repeatedly stabbed and chased away until he finally finds Logan in a bar, drinking whiskey nonstop. Desperate, Deadpool drinks heavily himself until he passes out, dragging Logan with him to the TVA. When Deadpool and Logan arrive, the TVA agents are shocked. Not only has Deadpool messed with multiple timelines, but he also wants to replace their version of Logan with a different one. The agents are horrified at the idea of replacing their own Wolverine with what they consider the worst version. This enrages Deadpool. He demands to speak to his supervisor, but instead, the agents quickly send him and Logan to a desolate, barren world known as the Void. In the Void, Logan attacks Deadpool, believing him to be a threat. They fight fiercely, each determined to defeat the other. Despite their brutal battle, neither of them seems to die. Deadpool, realizing that neither of them can be defeated easily, convinces Logan to stop fighting. He proposes that they join forces to change everything and promises that they can become heroes together. Suddenly, Captain America arrives, but it turns out to be the Human Torch in disguise, fighting off a group of enemies. They're attacked by a gang of classic Wolverine villains and Sabretooth, who Wolverine swiftly decapitates. However, the group is soon captured by a giant magnet and taken to a different place. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, explains that they're in an abandoned world where unwelcome beings are sent to fight each other. They have a choice: continue fighting or join forces with him. They are then taken inside what appears to be a fortress, reminiscent of something from Star Wars, built into the body of Ant-Man. Inside, they find a host of forgotten X-Men characters and the deceased Ant-Man. From his skull emerges a figure in a wheelchair, initially thought to be Charles Xavier. Instead, it is Cassandra Mattia, Xavier's evil twin with similar powers. Cassandra Mattia has been searching for Wolverine for years, and she captures Johnny Storm, whom she has a complicated history with. She frees Deadpool and Wolverine, but Deadpool's incessant talking leads to a disastrous outcome. He accidentally frames Johnny for bad-mouthing Cassandra, resulting in her removing Johnny's skin and killing him. As a storm brews, Deadpool becomes desperate and pleads with Cassandra Mattia to let them go, threatening that Wolverine will kill everyone if she doesn't. Cassandra, however, dismisses his threats, revealing that the TVA agents had brought her to this world before she could walk. She boasts about how she's developed her powers beyond those of Xavier and demonstrates her ability by invading Wade's mind, making him believe false accusations from Vanessa. This enrages Wade, leading him to attempt to attack her. Wolverine tries to help by slashing at Cassandra, but she easily overpowers them, showing off her invincibility and warning that the storm will soon destroy them. They flee in a rocket that lands them in the mountains, where Wolverine ponders how they can return to confront Paradox. They find an abandoned cafeteria, and Wolverine drinks some pure alcohol, finding a brief moment of peace. Wade confides in Wolverine about his dream of becoming an Avenger and how he admired Logan. Although this Wolverine feels like a nobody in his own world, he encourages Wade to pursue his dreams. As they continue, they encounter a scruffy dog dressed as Deadpool. Out of nowhere, another Deadpool appears, but this one is like Ryan Reynolds with long hair and an exceptionally kind demeanor. Despite Wade's jealousy and insults, this kind Deadpool helps them and even provides them with a car. Wade is initially offended when he sees the car he's been given, a Honda, which he dismisses as a mom mobile. Despite his complaints, he and Wolverine drive through a forest, chatting about their lives and friendships. Wolverine isn't thrilled with the topic, but Wade insists that they need to fix their world to save their friends from impending doom. Wade pleads with Wolverine to help him, pointing out that he can't do it alone and that he needs to be like the other Logan. This makes Wolverine's anger flare, leading him to stab Wade, sparking another intense fight that ends with their van being destroyed. When they can no longer fight, someone arrives and takes them away. They wake up in a strange cave, where they are greeted by Elektra, Gambit, and Blade, all heroes from the past. This nostalgic reunion reveals that they are part of a resistance movement, and they were brought there by Logan's daughter. While Wolverine is indifferent to seeing his daughter, she clearly has strong feelings about him. Deadpool argues that they need to return to Cassandra Mattia, who can help them escape the cave. This shocks the Resistance members, as they've been fleeing from her. Despite their initial reluctance, Deadpool convinces them that they need to fight for justice for all the friends who have died. Wolverine, however, is still in a dark place, and his daughter confronts him about how he's ruined her life and many others. This forces Wolverine to reflect on his actions and their consequences. As Deadpool and Wolverine arrived at Cassandra's base, they were quickly confronted by the temporal agents, who sent a powerful mutant to take out Wolverine. In the chaos, Blade fired a bazooka, igniting the base and starting an epic battle. Gambit used his cards with flair, while Elektra showcased her impressive fighting skills, giving Wolverine the chance to face Cassandra directly. Cassandra proved to be a formidable opponent, beating Wolverine and delving into his mind, revealing memories of his guilt over the deaths of the X-Men. Overwhelmed by his grief and anger, Wolverine lost control, turning into a relentless force of destruction. Cassandra attempted to help him, but Deadpool intervened by placing a helmet on her that blocked her powers, causing her to laugh maniacally. Despite their initial reluctance, they had to remove the helmet to save Cassandra when a mutant shot her. Wolverine was determined to save her, honoring the legacy of Charles Xavier, which touched Cassandra. She used special knuckles to open a portal, allowing Deadpool and Wolverine to escape. As they jumped through the portal back to their world, Cassandra faced off against the mutant who had attacked her. She informed him about the temporal agent's plans, which fueled his anger. The boss of the agents then tracked down Deadpool and Wolverine, while Cassandra attacked Paradox mentally. Paradox, now intent on using Cassandra's powers to destroy all universes, attempted to eliminate her, but ultimately decided to turn his destructive focus on Deadpool and Wolverine. He hurled them away and took Paradox with him. From the portal, a massive army of Deadpool clones emerged, each version of the mercenary armed and ready. Faced with this overwhelming force, Wade attempted to rally the clones to his side, but they instead opened fire on him. To protect himself, Deadpool used the body of his doppelganger, Nicepool, as a shield. After finding temporary cover behind a vehicle, Wade noticed that Nicepool couldn't regenerate and decided to take him to a hospital. Navigating through the sea of clones proved challenging, so Wade continued to use Nicepool's body for protection. Unfortunately, Nicepool met a grim fate when his head was blown off. Wade, undeterred, seized Nicepool's gold-plated pistols and joined forces with Wolverine to fight the clone army. The battle was intense as Wade and Wolverine fought their way through the mercenaries. They pushed forward, eliminating enemies left and right. They soon spotted a group of clones hiding inside a bus. Without hesitation, they stormed the vehicle, clearing out the remaining clones and ending their threat. After the fierce battle, the Deadpool clones, all capable of regenerating unlike Nicepool, rise again, ready for more combat. Just as another round of fighting seems imminent, Peter Parker arrives on the battlefield. His presence is a relief because he's loved by all the Deadpools, and he manages to calm everyone down and establish peace. As the Deadpools celebrate Peter's arrival, Deadpool and Wolverine seize the opportunity to head for the subway, determined to stop Cassandra's plan. When they reach the subway, they find that Cassandra has already begun using her machine, which is designed to destroy all alternate realities. Paradox had revealed that the only way to halt her plan is by causing a short circuit in the device. This device, powered by matter and antimatter sources, requires a direct connection between these sources. Unfortunately, making this connection will incinerate whoever acts as the bridge. Despite the grave danger, Deadpool and Wolverine decide to proceed with the mission. Logan insists on going alone, but Deadpool, believing Logan deserves a chance at a fresh start, attacks him with a fire extinguisher and forces him out of the chamber. After locking the doors behind him, Deadpool goes to work, destroying one of the power sources and attempting to connect the power cables to the other side. However, he finds he can't reach the antimatter source. Just when it seems all hope is lost, Wolverine breaks through the door and grabs Deadpool's hand. Together, they use their bodies to create a bridge for the energy transfer between the sources, initiating a massive short circuit. Their bodies are burned from the inside out, but they endure the pain, sharing the energy overload as the machine explodes. The explosion pulverizes Cassandra's body, and Earth-105 narrowly avoids destruction. As the dust settles from the intense battle, Commander B-15 arrives and immediately questions Paradox about the unauthorized use of the Time Ripper. Paradox defends himself, claiming that Cassandra coerced him into building the machine and invaded his mind to obtain the necessary information. He explains that, realizing the impending destruction of reality, he recruited Deadpool and Wolverine to rectify the situation, and that their heroic sacrifice saved the universe. However, Deadpool and Wolverine, having survived the explosion, show up to reveal the truth. Their teamwork and resilience allowed them to survive, and they expose Paradox's deception. Commander B-15 is not pleased and orders her guards to take Paradox to TVA headquarters for judgment. With the Time Ripper destroyed and the universe on the path to regeneration, B-15 congratulates Deadpool and Wolverine on their successful mission. Even though Wolverine does not belong to this timeline, B-15 grants him permission to remain and rebuild his life, offering him a second chance. Seizing the opportunity, Deadpool asks B-15 for help in rescuing his friends who were trapped in the void. He emphasizes that without them, none of their achievements would have been possible. After successfully saving the world and reuniting with his friends, Deadpool and Wolverine decide to celebrate with a meal. Returning home, Deadpool is joyfully reunited with Dogpool, who had previously passed away. Deciding to adopt the dog, Deadpool takes him home along with Logan. Upon entering the apartment, they are greeted warmly by Al, who is excited to welcome two new housemates. A few days later, Deadpool gathers with all his new and old friends. During this reunion, he takes the opportunity to make amends with Vanessa,